All right, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Minetest gameplay of sorts. Yeah, and today we are going to look at a new building going up. But first, over at my website, where you can find all the mods used, under the mods used page, you find pictures. And I finally got my pictures to work. Yeah. So this was a picture sent in by Chris Campbell showing his nuclear reactor and signs. Very cool. I like those signs. Put them on mine. I did find a funny one. It said danger high voltage, and it said, you know, touching this will kill you very painfully. And except it's not Creative Commons, but I could remake it. Yeah. And this was the picture. I cannot pronounce the name. Farkas of the 3-monitor setup. Look at that view. Tell me you wouldn't want to play Minetest in that view. That is cool. And there's another view from it. So the pictures did come through. And the name CDDP DEPPPPP 256 sent in this one of a distribution center for trucks to take what trains have delivered to the other side of the city. That is really cool. So you got your truck, you got your ramps here for your trucks, take your stuff off with the trains, and using those load and unload blocks, the unload and unload rails. That'd be really cool. So thank you very much for everybody who sent those in. It is greatly appreciated. And you too can send in your pictures of your builds by going to my website. As long as you're not a Russian spammer or a French spammer, those are the two that I'm getting the most on right now. Is mail order brides and prescription drugs in your city. And I don't need either of those. So there. And I don't know how they're getting around the file upload, because it looks for a specific file and they're not uploading a file. So I have to play with that. But let's get back at the task at hand. Yo, I'm out here. Let's see what we got here. So I did some more work on that building, and finally came up with a good design on here. And what we are going to look at today is that one over there. You know, I should have loaded that in. It would look more cooler, because I'm standing up here on top of a 16-story building with a parachute. I'm Batman. I'm overlooking the city. So, oh wait, you can't understand Batman. Batman. I do, you know, out of all the Batman characters, there we go. We didn't need that. But out of all the Batman characters, my two favorite Batmans are Christian Bale and I forgot his name, Michael Keaton. I don't know why. The Michael Keaton Batman, for me, it was the coolest one. He had a certain element to it. And Christian Bale, because you couldn't understand him. But he did play I think he did play the role pretty cool. So let's run over here real quick. This is the design that I came up with this. I tried Michael's suggestion about pushing the blocks back. And I mean, I tore this building apart. I redid the patios. I tried taking this block out. So I think that the white baked clay, and I added some more detail around all the ridges. You can see here, it's open. And so you come in here and look at that. And I had to redo the stairs. So you have these support areas over here. This gets back to the elevators. This goes out to the garage in the UK. garage for us here. I still haven't done anything with this, but the stairs go up halfway. And I had the stairs where they looped around, or they came around, they curved, and it went up. And they went up this way. And I'm sitting there looking, I got to fill all this in and fix all this. Because you can see the stair underneath it. I probably could or could have taken that off. But I have some more work to do on this. But then you come over here, it wraps around, and it comes up to the second floor. And this is how they are in my building. And I was sitting there going, well, how can I do the stairs? So we have this huge layout, and I want to get the layout done so I can put the windows in on the back and the sides of the buildings. But all the front doors are done. And then we come in here, and I'm carrying a brick, and I don't know why. Let's go up to the 6th floor. I found that if you put too many elevators in a row, the doors don't auto open anymore. This goes up to the roof. So we got full access to the roof. Very nice. Put some stuff up here. And I have to put like the supporting stuff on the roof, like the air conditioning units and stuff like that. This is my unit. So the idea was, and there's going to be opening, I'm going to have windows, because these windows, theoretically, they're panels and they should open. And they are going to open around here. I'm going to use a gate controller hidden somewhere. But you can see that the patios are now connected. They go all the way through this kind of framework here. You know, you can't fall into the master bedroom one. This one I am going to leave a door. I kind of like that. But that's how I figured out how to do the building. The only way that, ouch, that I really could. And I have some more landscaping work to do back here. I have to get rid of these hills back here. Yeah, and then figure out the transition for the sidewalks. Get the windows in, because the windows will make this whole side of the building look really cool. So over here, let's go to daytime. Over here we have a new building based on, and Ultra Gamer had asked on the medieval world if I had created that castle or if I used a mod for it. The only mod that I know of that creates buildings is called InstaBuild. And up in my new world, well, the world I'm in, there is a mansion that was formed from InstaBuild, but the walls were all sand and it looked really good. However, that mansion has since been redone, and that's the only one. And it had some generic buildings. Now you see this ain't gonna work. Oh, I just ran into a problem here. So these are going to be glass, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I'm off. Unless I do, I don't know. I had to lengthen the building because the proportions of the building just did not look good. So now I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do about doorways. So the doorways, I wanted the doors to be in these angled areas. And there's only one person I know that has angled doors. And that's, I believe it's Too Many Nodes. You see, this is even now, so I can't put doors in the center. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the center point. You know what? I can. If worse comes to worse, I can. I'm not going to waste time on, I could always change that. I actually wanted those columns to be 3. So if I did 3 and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That might look good too. But this is how I made, I'm going to show how I made these, how I made these. I wanted the design of the building, and I was looking up, I don't have the website open right now. I was looking up details on skyscrapers in Chicago. And there was, I was looking up the John Hancock building, and apparently the John Hancock building is no longer associated with John Hancock Insurance or life insurance or whatever since 2000, I want to say 13. So that's how these I cut in the circular saw. And before anybody asks, you may find the circular saw mod in My Blocks or in Dream Builder. So I'm going to utilize some of the slopes in here because the very top of the building is going to have, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but that's the beauty of this game is, you know, you try it, and then if it doesn't turn out, well, you get rid of it. So I was looking for inspiration, and this falls on what Ultra Gaming asks. He goes, you know, can you do a modern technique? Basically, modern is a lot of boxes, a lot of shapes, and then usually the color schemes are grays, black, white, quartz, anything like that. So it's all gonna fall down on what your personal tastes are for building the building. And if you look at some of my other videos, some of the builds, especially the white baked clay house over by the park and the cyan house, those were just built by, oh, did I do that wrong? Yes, I did. I should have done the outside first. No problem. Those buildings were done by just making a bunch of rectangles, and then I usually look at architectural websites and stuff like that for inspiration, but even other like Minecraft YouTubers or Minetest people, I don't know, that might actually look better, but when I take that out, it's going to not give me the look that I want. No, either way will work. So that's how I get my inspiration for it, and then I just build. What would I want, or what do I want in a building? Now you see that all, I'm gonna have to do this, and then I just build on it, and I will move things around. This floor plan, if you guys watched me build this floor plan, you would have been bored to tears, because I have redone the floor plan on this 3 times and added a total of 15 blocks end by end to make the to get the proportions right. That looks a lot better. So we are going to go on the outside here. Oh, I did. What happened? Oh, this was where it was. I'm trying to, oh, there goes my concrete. So basically this is going to walk through what I go through in building. And I don't mind watching other people build, because usually when I'm building, I will watch other people, and I like to build at the same time. So I don't find it boring. I'm not sitting there just watching the other person build. I'm gaining inspiration from their building and listening to the commentary and whatever. So that's why I try to be interesting, because to be honest, watching a person build, unless it's a tutorial, is mind numbing most of the time. And there we go. So this is my floor plan. The doors I want to be over here, because you can be able to come in from the street side. And I know Too Many Nodes was working on angled doors. So I'm going to have to see. So now I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to stack instead of walking around doing all of this. 1 and 2. And I want the very first floor is going to be double. So I would do 4, 8. I'm going to stack it by 7, 8, 9. It sounds like a good number to me. So stack it by 7, looking up. What the? Yeah. Because, let's see how that looks. I wanted to use colored glass. I wanted to use blue. However, there's not a blue, and for whatever reason, I can't dye the glass. So it used to be, I don't know what I did with this. I messed up some things. I know this one node cannot be colored, but I thought the super trap glass could. So I have also played around in, I have played around with all, like, here's trap glass, super trap glow glass. I don't think a trap glass, and I've tried a whole bunch of different ones. This node can't be colored. This node can't be colored. And I know one of these were, I think it's the frame. Okay, those aren't working. Let's go back in. And I think there's wooden frame and steel frame. Steel framed obsidian. Let's try that one. One of these has to. Okay, I don't know what that one connects. That one auto connects. So that's the steel framed glass. Here's the obsidian one, which also connects. There's regular glass, which I already know doesn't. And those don't. So these are my dies. Can't. Oh, that one will. However, to get the shape I want, I don't think. Okay, it wasn't the steel framed obsidian glass. It was. No, it's not that one. It is. Now I can't remember which one it was. It had to be the obsidian glass. And I think it had something to do with me just coloring it. No. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't see. Okay, the obsidian. It's the steel framed obsidian glass. So now I should be, if this works, nope, it won't work. I can't cut that. Because if I do my diagonal, they won't connect. But that will. I would have to get... See, it's kind of strange because one side will connect, but the other side won't. So even if I have it over here, let's see what this looks. Yeah. That doesn't look bad. I lose the flatness, but I probably could have pulled that off. Okay, so I found my glass that is colorable. But I like this better. And the reason why I like it is because of the framing look that it gives. Now the cool thing is I could always change this. So the first 2 floors, or the main entranceway here is going to be 2 floors, and then there's going to be supporting hallways inside here, and there's going to be a booth. And then you have your elevators and stuff like that. This might be a little bit too high, but the reason why I did it that way is because I am going to double up. Now I have to figure this out. Oh, I just figured it out. Sort of. So how is everybody doing? In Chicago, it is a balmy 42 degrees, and it's supposed to get up into the 60s today. That is yet to be seen. Now, I could also face this out because and take out my helper blocks here. This will, what do you call it? These blocks will cut. Now this one I am going to have to, I could have used, but I want to do something creative over here. Oh, that was dumb. I didn't need helper blocks. I need help. So, because I want to put a sort of edge around this. I found I was watching this Japanese YouTuber playing Minecraft. He was building a luxury apartment, and I kid you not, this thing was cool that he built. And there was a couple techniques that he used which I want to adopt, especially on the patios and the vegetation, which is something which adds a lot of detail, a lot of dynamics to a build. And yeah, there were like subtitles, which was kind of cool. But they have a thing called N-rods, and I can duplicate that with those with the more lights. So up in here, like around this section here, and I'm debating whether or not to do blocks on the bottom here, or just go on the inside and make the very bottom the dark gray. So one of the ideas that I can come up with is, let's get rid of this before I accidentally color everything. All right, we want to keep that because That is the block. So on here we have, I can do this. Yes, I can. Now, whether, oh yeah, I am going to bring that. That is going to look so cool. Another thing on my builds is I'm not entirely sure what a build is going to look like. And I don't like tearing down. I don't like tearing down builds. So in other words, because again, that looks so cool. Very nice. So what happens is, I should have kept that. These are my reference blocks. What happens is, you know, if you don't like a build, you can always tear it down and redo it. So I like I said, I don't have a plan when I build. I have a basic blueprint in my mind of what I want to build. Whether or not I pull it off, you know, obviously, but I don't go by, why isn't it, I work on an idea until it finally looks good. I know these blocks are kind of expensive because I read somewhere that you could see how they're structured. I got one more of these to do. Now the thing about the castle, he said, it seems like an awful long work. That castle actually wasn't that difficult because it was built into the side of the hill. There was very little planning because, like I said, that was a world that I had generated. When I was having the problems with the database corruption, and when I finally figured it out, and I ended up liking it so much that I kept it. Okay, so here's our skeleton of the building. Now, I'm probably going to do the bottom row. I don't know, maybe. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want it to go all the way to the bottom. However, what I'm going to do is I am going to make those blocks. There we go. That. Oh, let's see how this turned out. I like that. That cements it. So, and then over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm wondering about, now I have to do the blocks are just, I'm not sure what flooring I'm going to use here. All right, so that is the skeleton. There's going to be columns in here. I want the doors to be here. I want the entrance to be here. And I'll maybe come up with some kind of pretty way of doing that. The strange part of this building is, and I have to work on a ceiling. The strange part of this build is going to be in, what do I want to do? Either way, I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of blocks, even using world edit. So I want the ceiling to be, you know, I can always change that, the ceiling color, because this is the lobby type deal. I can't remember how many blocks. 1, 2. I think it's 30. The stack. 30 in the look direction. Let's see how that looks. Did we make it? No, we didn't. How many blocks am I short? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm short 10 blocks. Wow. Alrighty then. This should bring it all the way to the end. Thank you. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. I could have done that easier, couldn't I have? And we're going to stack this 40. You see how much time I saved rather than oh, you know what I could do here? No, not on this one. Over here, because this one faces the street. Let's try something here. Okay, so there I would have to put in... Oh, not a problem. Let's see how this looks. They have kind of an atrium now. Well, it doesn't cost anything. And if this doesn't work, I can easily change it. So the idea here is to have like a glass atrium kind of deal on the door part. Now, see, that's going to cut in. Because these are only well, let's see how this looks. It would have been nice if I could thrown a half block in there, but I cannot. Now I'm going to have to rethink the building part. Because over here with this glass, I'd have to go, I think, go one less to tie this in with here. These won't be. Those will be dark clay. So we have that. But then on the top here, I'm wondering if I should limit the top part of the building. I'm going to have to play with that because I wanted these to go all the way up. I wanted the building to all to be one size. One of the ideas was to come in here and you could do something like this and go up. However, the very, very, very top of the building is, I could have one floor, have a glass ceiling, I guess. The whole idea of this is going to go up. Now I'm going to work on, no, I can't do that. This is going to have to be dark clay. Or maybe I could do it on one and then have a glass window in here for this little atrium area, because now the floors are going to start. So there's going to be some lighting around here. It's going to go back by one, but it's not. So these are going to be double floored. So what I want to do is I want to put the windows going up. All right, it'll work. So the next floor is going to be the standard floor height. So I'm going to do 5. And then actually 6, because there's going to be another one here so I can do recessed lighting. Yes, that's the ticket. That's what I'm going to do. So these are going to be double floored. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 7 will be a floor because this floor is taken up. So that's the floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, because there we go. So the usable space is going to be 12-foot ceilings. Ceiling, and then floor for the next row. And this is important because I am going to world edit when I get this floor done. Then I'm going to take my world edit copy or stack command, and then do the same thing I did with how I stacked this, and I'm going to stack the entire completed floor. So what I have to work on now is I have to get the floor details done, and what I want to do in terms of the elevator banks and the elevators, any kind of stairway, any kind of features that are going to be in the lobby. And then on the second floor, where the stairwells come up and where the elevators come up, anything that has to be duplicated between the floors. And then I can put some walls up and lighting, stuff like that to make it done. And it's not cheating. Well, for me, any purist is going to go, no, you have to build every block by hand that you mine. No, you try mining 7,000 blocks of dark baked clay. It's not going to work out that way. So I have my work done, cut out for me. The whole thing is in the details of making a plausible building, which brings me to the last point of modern building. This is building modern, and basically, like I said, all I did while I was researching the John Hancock building, which is now 875 North Michigan Avenue. They changed the name, obviously, and the same thing with Sears Tower. Sears Tower is now Willis Tower in Chicago. What they have done is, by researching it, I was looking for the dimensions in the bottom, because if you look at a Minetest character, let's say each block is 3 feet or 1 meter. That's what they had said. But if you look at that, 4, 5, 6. I have to count my function keys because I don't have a lit keyboard. So if the character is 6 feet tall, let's say, if the character is 6, oh my gosh, get out of my face here, man. All right, there we go. If the character is 6 feet tall, and it's 2 blocks. So the base of the Willis Tower, or the base of the John Hancock building, or 875 North Michigan Avenue, is, oh my God, what did they say? It came out to 242 feet. It was in metrics. Well, 242 feet, that's almost 100 blocks, like 90 something blocks. Well, this is only 40. So for me to do a building to scale, we're talking from that yellow wall to there, roughly 40, 80, doubling that. So yeah, you can see where the problem is going to come in. So if we go over here, we're going to wrap this up real quick. I like how this is coming. So basically, all I do is, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fly over here, because obviously I've gone over the 30-minute mark. But we're going to go over here and look at one more house real quick, just to nail home the point. And that is that with modern building, go on Pinterest, go on any kind of architectural website, and look up modern builds. This over here is the Waterfall House. It's a modern house because of all the angles and all the boxes and everything that went into the design. Here's the park area. This is one of my favorite houses for modern building. And these are mild. So basically how I built this was a bunch of rectangles sitting on top of each other. That's all this is. This was one rectangle box. This was another rectangle. Even down here was a rectangle for the floor. Everything, I'm lagging because I'm in unlimited view mode. Everything here was just, this whole box went all the way back here. And then I just cut it out and did whatever I needed to do to make my floor plan fit. And I tend not to build by a floor plan. Some builders love building on a floor plan, which that works. But it also dictates the outer size of the house. Because, you know, depending on what you put in there. But that's one way of doing it. And that would be, that's whichever way is easiest for the person. Yeah, my fireplace works. Cool. Whatever makes it easiest. This is the house that spawned out of a mod called InstaBuild. And I changed, all this has been changed to sandstone. All the walls were solid or sand. So I've been slowly trying to make that house my own by adding a basement in the bottom. And oh, my cat's still alive. Where's my turtle? I had a turtle around here somewhere. It'll bite you. The turtle will bite you too. There's two kitties. I don't know how two kitties got in here. So the turtle is gone, but the kitty stayed. Huh. Oh no, there he is. He's right there. So there's a turtle. So that is, you know, this was a house that was an ex-Apple engineer had created his own house, which was all it was a box. And that box had slidable panels. They had no doors, which is why this one has no doors, because these were just panels that slid across to add entrance or exit, or to open up. All these panels would slide in one position to open up the house into an airy look. So that's basically it. There's a whole other, if you look back at my other videos, there's a whole other subdivision. Well, that's there's a whole other subdivision. This is a modern house. It's just how you add detail and how you create the effect that you're looking for. But that's basically what I do. And, you know, this was a famous Minecrafter style house that I built, which is kind of cool. It's all boxes. It's how you decorate and detail, which is really going to make it modern. Very cool. And you can look back at all my other videos, and you can see just the different shapes and the different way I've laid everything out. This one is a fun house. But the one thing is, this one looks like almost like an airport. The whole thing about building is that it doesn't. I tend to like realism, but you'll never find this house in the wild, in real life. And who cares? It is all based on what you actually like as a builder. And location is a very important part of where you put your builds. Look at the back patio area of this house, and look at what they get to look at. So it's very hard to make everything kind of gel together, and, you know, proportional wise. But I just go with making a whole bunch of boxes and a frame, and then just making it all fit. Like this house shouldn't even. This house is cool, but in reality, it kind of shouldn't exist. So I just picked up a block. That's how you do it. And just whatever taste that you have, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what other people think. I mean, I don't build stuff to please other people. I try to build stuff to challenge myself in, like with these walkways and stuff like that. What would I want in a house that if I had $1 billion, if I had unlimited money, what would I want my house to look like? And what would be inside said house? This is one of my favorite houses too. Big, huge, airy rooms and fireplaces and stuff like that. And I just build to get my needs, my whatever, wherever I stand back and I go, you know what? This is really, really cool. So that's going to about do it. However, just experiment, play with it, do different things. This is sort of based on the biodome in Arizona. That's one thing I do. And now with the cut glass like that, where you can make this kind of smooth like I did here, that's going to be another build that if you want to reference, search for Biodome Arizona. It's a whole complex. It was a scientific complex. That's Pauly Shore did a movie called Biodome. However, what it did was they sealed a bunch of scientists inside this building. The air, everything was sealed. So they had to generate their own air. They had to generate their own food. They had water. And there was a bunch of problems with the project, which almost ended up killing them. However, it's a cool building. And that's what I try to emulate in my builds, is to make things that might not necessarily exist, but if they did exist, it'd kind of look like this. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for joining. I went over 30 minutes again. Next episode is going to be what do you call it? Medieval. I've been doing more work on the medieval, on the castle, and that castle, all it was, and I'm going to go through of how I built that castle. It's just a bunch of cylinders. That's all it was. Wait, my airport's up here somewhere. Yep, there's my airport and greenhouses. And this is my modern take on a Italian Spanish villa, which is on the picture of my website. I really do love this build. I think I'll camp out here for a while. So, yeah, that's gonna do it. So all I did was I just measured out my centers of my cylinders and just used World Edit to make everything go smoother by allowing me to build faster. But the whole thing is, anybody could build a shell. And I did, I sat there and go, well, this doesn't look like a castle. Well, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to look like a traditional medieval castle. It has to look like how you want it to look. You throw out the old interpretation of what a castle looks like, and how would you do a medieval castle knowing how a medieval castle actually looks? And then just start adding your detail. I made sure everything was symmetrical, and then just built upon it, and just kept building and building until I got to a point of that I was really happy with the end result. So there you go. Hopefully watching me painfully build this selection of building gave you some inspiration, and wow, everything's kind of loading in. 7 FPS. There's a lot of stuff going on in this area. So, excuse me. Hopefully, this gave enough. Yes, that looks cool. Inspiration to really enhance your build, or just go crazy with it. I'm not even sure. This is going to look a lot better when I get more floors on it, and I get the dark stain, the dark clay to border the base, and then I have to put my sidewalks and stuff. So the sidewalks transition from the brick over into normal sidewalks, and then this building is going to be sharp. I guarantee it. So that's going to do it. Thank you for watching and putting up with me, and yeah, go from there. So until next episode, goodbye.